Alrighty, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for the webinar today. It'll be the benefits of mindfulness, and we have Dr. Curtis Gonzalez presenting today. I do have a few attendees kind of strolling in, but we are going to go ahead and get started. So we'll go ahead and say a little bit just about what AI-PAMI is if you're new and joining us for the first time today. So AI-PAMI is the Aging and Integrative Pain Assessment and Management Initiative. We focus on addressing non-opioid pain management in adults who are age 50 and older living in Northeast Florida. We also have a focus on caregivers who are taking care of patients who might be managing their pain as well. And our overall goal of AI-PAMI is to advance pain education and patient care through the development of patient workshops focused on integrative pain management. And we are funded by Florida Blue Foundation. And a little bit about our presenter today. Like I said, Dr. Curtis Gonzalez is joining us today. She is the Associate Director of Clinical Research in the Department of Emergency Medicine at the University of Florida. Dr. Curtis completed her postdoctoral training at the University of California, Los Angeles, also known as UCLA, and the Department of Psychiatry and Biobehavioral Sciences. At UCLA, she was a part of the Clinical Trials Network, where her research focused on expanding access to medication treatment for opioid use disorder in rural communities using telemedicine. She also conducted research that helped people who experience chronic pain improve their functioning and overall quality of life through mindfulness-based apps. And without further ado, Dr. Curtis, you can start the presentation.
All right, thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Taylor, for the introduction. I really appreciate it. And so we'll go ahead and get started. Here we go. So for today, we'll be kind of discussing what is mindfulness, and then kind of touch base on a few techniques that are easily integrated into your everyday life, discuss the benefits of mindfulness, as well as how to add it to your schedule. And then we'll end with a practice session, a mindfulness practice sessions, and then kind of dive into a few free resources that are nationally available as well as local within the Northeast Florida area. And so to start, what is mindfulness, right? In recent years, mindfulness has become really a household term. Mindfulness programs are now commonly found in schools, workplace, and hospitals. And so what is it really? So the definition is maintaining a moment-by-moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and surrounding environment through a gentle, nurturing lens. And so when we are being mindful or paying attention intentionally, it helps us stay grounded in the moment and not to worry about the past or the future. And so being mindful really helps us become aware of our thoughts and feelings, but without judging them or getting caught up in them. And so it helps us decenter from our thoughts and increases our ability to really stand back from our negative and positive kind of thoughts and thought patterns, such as nothing ever works for me, or it's always going to be this way. And so, but I think it's important to, before we dive in, that with practicing mindfulness or any kind of new exercise, it takes time to learn, and incorporating mindfulness into our routine as well. So just remember when kind of starting new activities or even practicing mindfulness that, it took us time to learn how to ride a bike, to learn how to swim or even read. And it took us time to get our education and accomplish our many other life goals. So I just want everybody to kind of think about that when integrating it. But the benefit of all learning these new skills is that once you have them, they're free for you to use and you can easily access them. So with that, there are a lot of mindfulness and deep breathing techniques you can try. Some of you may already be aware of these. So let's just review a few that are quick and easy to incorporate into your daily routine. So the first one I'm going to talk about is called the 4-7-8 breathing technique. And this can help us gain control over our breathing when we are feeling stressed out, upset, or even in pain. And this 4-7-8 technique forces the mind and body to focus on regulating the breath rather than replaying your worries. It may help overcome distractions and help get into a relaxed state or mindset. And personally, I've used this to when I have trouble falling asleep. You kind of run through your day and you just practice this process. And so for this technique, what you do is you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and then exhale for 8 seconds. So it's really just kind of making you become aware of what's happening in the present moment. Another technique too that's easily to incorporate is called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. And this technique helps ground your senses. It helps shifts our focus to what's currently happening around us instead of what's making us feel anxious or upset. So to start, you'd want to look around and focus on 5 things you see, 4 things you feel, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you taste. For example, you can do it with me right now. So right now I see my computer monitor, a water bottle, my phone, a pen, and my desk. And I feel the chair under me, the hair on the back of my neck, the shirt on my arms, and the shoes on my feet. The 3 things I hear my voice, right? The AC and my chair creak. And then I smell my coffee and the candle I'm burning, and I taste the coffee in my mouth. So it's an easy technique to also incorporate. Another one is body scan. And body scan is a mindfulness technique that brings attention to sensations occurring in different parts of the body. It involves scanning our body for pain, tension, or anything out of the ordinary. It can help us feel more connected to our physical and emotional self. Typically for this one, you get into a comfortable position and start by scanning each body part from top to bottom and paying attention to any sensations such as tingling, tightness, or discomfort. And with this also, it's okay if you don't notice anything as well. And we'll actually practice, we'll do a practice session of this one at the end of the presentation. Another one that's another mindfulness technique is called walking meditation. And this is where you bring attention to your feet, your body, and the ground below you, and focus your mind on what it feels like to walk. And so you may notice kind of a common theme with all of these is really kind of fulfilling the definition of mindfulness is bringing the moment to what's currently happening versus having your mind wander and start worrying or thinking about other things that have occurred in the past or future. So it's allowing you to stay in that moment that you're currently in. So now that you know a few different techniques, let's talk about the benefits of mindfulness. And so the research on the benefits of mindfulness have been occurring for over 2 decades. And I'll review a few of these, but this list is it continues to expand. So the first thing that mindfulness is good for or great for is our body. According to research, after practicing mindfulness for 8 weeks, it boosts our immune system's ability to fight off illnesses, and it has demonstrated to improve quality of sleep as well. Mindfulness is also great for our minds. It increases positive emotions such as joy, gratitude, hope, while also reducing our negative emotions such as fear, anger, and sadness and stress. Mindfulness can also reduce symptoms related to depression and anxiety. Mindfulness also has demonstrated changes to our brain or the physical structure. So research has found that it actually increases density of gray matter and brain regions linked to learning, memory, emotional regulation, and empathy. It increases activity in neural networks involved in understanding the suffering of others as well. Another benefit of mindfulness is that it really helps with our relationships with ourselves, family and friends, as well as colleagues. So specifically for ourselves, mindfulness can increase our self-esteem, self-compassion. It can also help regulate our emotions, encourages healthier eating habits, which can lead to a healthy body image, and also helps with our mindful eating. It can also help with our personal relationships with our family and friends. It can help make either ourselves or the partner, if they're participating as well, more satisfied with the relationship. Partners tend to report that they're more optimistic and relaxed when having conversations. And also, we feel more accepting of and closer to one another, and it can help recover quickly from conflict. Um, Mindfulness or becoming more mindful can also help with our professional development. It can make us more confident, improve our creativity. It reduces our multitasking by focusing on what is in the moment, and it improves client satisfaction. Additional benefits include pain management. So when practicing mindfulness or kind of integrating this into your schedule, you're able to train yourself to reduce those painful experiences. And also mindfulness has been associated with reducing the use of prescription pain medicines as well. It also increases our resiliency. So when we're more in mindfulness, it helps us to become more resilient to negative feedback that we may receive. And then mindfulness also increases our ability to stay focused. So it reduces our distractions and improves our memory, attention skills, and decision-making process as well. So now that we know our benefits, right? How do we incorporate this mindfulness into our schedule? And so what I think one of the benefits about an activity like mindfulness is that it doesn't have to be done sitting down or sitting in silence. And that's one of the reasons why it appeals to me personally. You can integrate this technique into things you do every day in your life, like walking or eating. And you can also just be mindful while interacting to others, really listening to that conversation. So one way to incorporate it into your schedule is, like I mentioned before, eating and drinking. So before you eat or drink, just take a moment to take a few deep breaths. This can take seconds and makes you aware of what you're eating and drinking. You can also focus on the textures and flavors and sensations that come with each mouthful. Another way to incorporate it into your schedule is while you're taking a walk. So while you're walking, take a moment to notice your surroundings. If you're outside, notice the trees, sounds, are there animals, the house's sidewalk, and other items. When walking, you can pay attention to how your feet feel connecting with the pavement and the sway of your arms and body as you move. Another benefit of mindfulness is when you're washing your hands. And so while you're washing your hands, take a few deep breaths as well. And this is also another great opportunity to kind of be aware and use those mindfulness techniques to your routine. You can focus on the sensation of the water running over your hands, soapy bubbles on your skin, and the smell of the soap. Another area that you can add to your schedule is waiting, right? We do waiting, we wait often in our lives. And so you can practice mindfulness, those different techniques while you're waiting in line to get food, you're at the doctor's office, when you're waiting for meetings to start, as well as while you're waiting on the phone, right? And so with that, I do have a practice session that I think would be helpful for everybody to try. So what this practice session is just a 5-minute mindful breathing and body scan exercise. And it's through a website through UC Berkeley. And so I'm going to start that 5-minute mindful exercise. So let me just pull it up real quick.
Dr. Curtis, could you explain kind of the steps to take while they're listening to the music, or will it be guided through the music that you play?
It should be guided. So, but that's a good question. So it'll be the information will be in there. So
Thank you.
yeah. All right. So we'll just do about a 5-minute exercise for everybody to try mindfulness.
So find a relaxed, comfortable position.
Are you all able to hear that, Taylor?
Yes.
Okay.
Seated on a chair or on the floor, on a cushion. Keep your back upright, but not too tight. Hands resting wherever they're comfortable. Tongue on the roof of your mouth or wherever it's comfortable. And you can notice your body from the inside. Noticing the shape of your body, the weight, touch. And let yourself relax and become curious about your body. Seated here, the sensations of your body, the touch, the connection with the floor or the chair. Relax any areas of tightness or tension. Just breathe, soften. And now begin to tune into your breath in your body. Feeling the natural flow of breath. Don't need to do anything to your breath. Not long, not short, just natural. And notice where you feel your breath in your body. It might be in your abdomen. It may be in your chest or throat or in your nostrils. See if you can feel the sensations of breath, one breath at a time. When one breath ends, the next breath begins. Now, as you do this, you might notice that your mind may start to wander. You might start thinking about other things. If this happens, this is not a problem. It's very natural. Just notice that your mind has wandered. You can say thinking or wandering in your head softly. And then gently redirect your attention right back to the breathing. So we'll stay with this for some time in silence, just a short time. Noticing our breath, from time to time getting lost in thought and returning to our breath. See if you can be really kind to yourself in the process. And once again, you can notice your body, your whole body seated here. Let yourself relax even more deeply. And then offer yourself some appreciation for doing this practice today. Whatever that means to you. Finding a sense of ease and well-being for yourself in this day.
All right. How's everybody feeling after that practice session? Right. I hope you're feeling a little bit more relaxed, um, breathing a little easier, right? Um, and if you're not feeling any different, that's okay as well, right? As I mentioned before, it takes time to learn a new activity. Right.
Dr. Curtis, we have some feedback after doing the practice session, and some shared that they feel like they're sleepy, but some also feel relaxed as well. So I think they enjoy it.
Good. I think that's, that is one of the goals for mindfulness, is feeling at that relaxed state. So thank you all. And thank you for that feedback. I appreciate it. So now that I've explained what is mindfulness, a few techniques that you can easily integrate into your schedule, the benefits, and then how. There are ways to kind of determine how mindful you are. So if that is something you're interested in, we have a link, and I'm able to share this as well. It's kind of called a mindfulness quiz, but it's also similar to a survey if you were to complete it. And so after filling out the questions, you get immediate feedback on where you fall kind of within the mindfulness range of, very mindful to maybe not as mindful. And then it offers also different types of mindfulness techniques or activities that you could try to integrate into your routine as well. So I did want to provide that resource. In addition to the mindfulness quiz, as I mentioned at the beginning, there are free resources that are available to you all to use. The first one is the UCLA free guided meditation, and this provides various resources and kind of how to get started, as well as exercises and numerous languages as well, which I thought was very beneficial. And then other ones by Psych Central, kind of how to ground your senses. So similar to that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise, mindful breathing, the Free Mindfulness Project, the Center for Mindfulness and the Sanford Institute for Empathy and Compassion, and as well as a YouTube video for walking meditation. Taylor, do you think it'd be beneficial to kind of explore these as a group?
I don't know if we want to explore them as a group, because everyone that joined today will have access to each link after the webinar. So they would be able to go through this entire list on their own and kind of see what best fits where they're at in their meditation and mindfulness journey.
Perfect. Okay, that sounds good. I did also want to highlight, for those that are located within the Northeast Florida area and interested in kind of continuing to pursue this maybe locally or with other groups or with groups that are already doing this. So there's a Hindu Society for Northeast Florida that provides free mindfulness and meditation courses, as well as yoga. And I know this focuses on the AI-PAMI project focuses on pain management. And so these are also good resources for that as well, to help kind of facilitate as another kind of item within your toolkit or toolbox to help manage your pain. And then there also is local free to low cost meditation classes as well. I know, one of the, at least in my opinion, one of the biggest burdens of practicing, yoga or mindfulness or any of these kind of alternative exercises for pain management and stress management and things like that are the cost. And so hopefully these resources will be useful to you all, due to they're either free or low cost, such as $5 or $10 a class. So I just wanted to share those. All right. And then this is, again, links to the different resources where the presentation information was found. So thank you all. So thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you all feel just a little bit more relaxed after that 5-minute exercise. That's always my goal with that. So just to show it doesn't take long, 5 minutes, a minute, it can be integrated into your routine. So thank you all, appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Curtis, for your presentation. I think from the feedback that we received, everyone is feeling a little bit more relaxed after today's practice session. If anyone has any questions for Dr. Curtis or myself, if you'd like to put those in the chat, we'll be on for just a few more minutes. And if not,